This is a tutorial for making my ruby slippers. First of all, I have to apologise for the quality and sound in this video recording, because when we did the tutorial I filmed it on one of these old DVD discs and there was a malfunction with the camcorder and something happened and the camcorder died and basically it wouldn't work again. And we could not get this disc to work on the computer. The only way it would work is if we put it in the DVD player and played it on the TV, but no matter which computer we put it in, it keeps saying there's nothing on the disc and we cannot find how to do it. And as the camcorder died, obviously this is our new one that we film on recently, and I've since found this disc because I forgot about it. So what I had to do is put it into the DVD player and film it off the TV. So apologies for the bad film quality or sound quality, but I'm sure you can watch it quite easily and get the idea of how they're done. Don't forget to check out my website, either www.tracyscostumingworld.weebly.com. I also have all my written tutorials on here as well, so if you want more photos of the shoes, the slippers and progress photos, they're all on my website. And enjoy! Hello, my name's Tracy and I'm going to show you the quick and easy way to make your very own pair of ruby slippers. First of all, you will need metallic red sequins. I use about between 12 and 15 metres. A hot glue gun and a pencil to mark out your line on the shoe. Here you can just about see where we've put a line down the centre heel there, because that's where we tend to start off at the back, and then just try and get the curve of where you want your line of sequins to go, and just gently mark on the shoe. It's best to start off with a red shoe, because if you get the odd gap in the sequins, at least if red's showing through you won't see it. Okay, right, first of all it's best to take a few sequins off the end so you can hold the end of the string a bit better. This is where you need two pair of hands, because you need one person to do your gluing and one person to do the sticking. Make sure your sequins are facing down on the shoe, otherwise you'll end up with, say, some sequins looking down like that, and if you accidentally on the other side put them that way up, you'll have them looking in different directions, which you don't want. Okay, here my mother is just going to put a dab of glue on for me. Very quickly stick it down because it dries within about 5 seconds, and you just push it on. Okay, now you just need some scissors to cut off the end. Best to make sure you're left with one or two left over at the edge there. Just left with a little tail. And that's your first row done. We'll just go over that quickly again to show you the second row. This helps to mark your line up. Make sure it slightly overlaps the other one, only slightly. Okay. Okay, here we are, just a few stages onwards, working all the way up the heel. And these tails sticking out, we leave them for now, and then afterwards they'll be cut off, just to give you an idea. Okay, moving on a bit now. As you can see, when you last saw it, we were about here, so all we've done is just carried on, overlapping and overlapping, of course making sure your sequins are facing downwards, and then just carry on along the shoe. Keep checking that you've got your line, because it's very easy to stray and maybe get them going in a slightly different direction to what you want, so keep checking that as you go along, and moving around the shoe and then towards the front there, and that's where we finish, about halfway. I forgot to show earlier, but when we got to about here, we actually drew a line down the centre, just so it helps keep our line central. After this, in a moment, we will go through all these tails and cut them off, because when your shoe is completed, we're actually going to neaten off the edge and overlap a strand like that all the way around the shoe, so it gives a nice neat edge. So that's why you need to cut all your tails off. Okay. Okay, I've now gone along the one side of the shoe and cut off the tails as close as possible. I don't know if you can see, but there we go. So that's one half of your shoe done. Then all you do is just repeat the process again, starting from the other side about here, and then just work your way up again, all the way down the other side of the shoe, of course putting the markings again to help you. Then just work your way down the other side and back round to the front of the shoe. Okay, we've now finished sequining the shoe. This is what it looks like before the bow's put on. I don't know if you can see very well, there's a lot of reflection of these sequins, but you can basically see we've run a strip of sequins across the top and around the bottom of the shoe all the way around. And the next thing to do is to put your bow onto the front of the shoe. This is one bow I made earlier, and I basically just use a leather belt, but a very thin leather, and I strip it down and I cut it to using a template, and then I cover it with another piece of red fabric on top, and I buy these Swarovski crystals and just basically glue them on using the original bow photographs off the internet as a reference guide, which I found quite useful. You can find loads of photos online. And then just very carefully, it takes probably a few hours to do both bows, just using some ordinary fabric glue. Very carefully glue them on. Then all you need next is some super glue. Where you put the super glue on the back of the bow, and then very quickly, very carefully you place it wherever it needs to be. Then what I do is get a couple of pegs. After I hold it in place, I get my mum to put a couple of pegs there to hold it for half an hour or so. So it just holds it in place, and then take the pegs off, and there you go. And then it will look something like that. And it's finished. Well, I hope this video has been helpful to some of you out there. Obviously this is the quicker way of doing it if you don't want to spend months and months sewing them on by hand. And I hope you get much enjoyment out of your own pair of ruby slippers. Thank you very much for watching.